Hey, what's going on, guys? We got DeFi Mark coming in the spaces today, and yeah, it's super exciting. It's gonna be cool to finally get Mark in a space. Let's crack a lagging. Shout out to Click Here, Sleep Peace, Sean Dusher. That name's always gonna get me, man. Sean Dusher. Is this the same Mark? Search BNB? Yes, this is the same Mark. Spaces starting about 19 minutes. Mark is the developer of the contract, the staking. It's all Mark, guys. And so I know, I know things, but I don't know them like he does. He knows it on like a deep level because he's literally the coding and doing the logic and all that stuff for it. I also, unfortunately, have a sore throat, so I might be not as talkative or responsive as I usually am. Tried gurgling salt water, tried all kinds of stuff. Honey, lemon, tea. It's all right, we move forward. Anybody who rewatches this, guys, the goal of control token right now is to be quiet. I'm communicating with you guys in the Discord and the Telegram on a daily basis. I'm dropping, 5-6 minute audio messages about where we're at, what we're doing, and we're focusing on marketing after the launch. We're not trying to market the launch. I don't think it's a good idea to market the launch. I think it's better to wait for the launch and then do our marketing after. So right now we're preparing. Anybody who can prepare videos, post, if you can write articles, really looking at every avenue that we can for making this success, because ultimately we have to make this thing blow up if we want it to be what it'll be. And that's going to be a community effort. Or when you always started, you say, I always don't know much. I don't know much, man. I appreciate that, though. I'll click here. Finally got my 2 BNB worth over the weekend. Now to get to my second bag. One will be staked and one not. Awesome, man. Yep, my family's in this as well. I've got my uncle. And by in this, I mean they bought. Nobody got any tokens. I didn't give away any tokens. And, I've got my uncle. I've got my brother. I've got my cousin. I've got my mom. So if that speaks to another level of confidence in terms of my willingness to have them in the project, if it doesn't do well, they're going to be like, yeah, your project sucked. So I think that should speak to some confidence, at least in terms of transparency, that I'm willing to get my family. I'm willing to put my name on the line, not just with you guys, but with my family on this idea. Ultimately, it's a risk. You have to consider that money gone in terms of never investing more than you're willing to lose. But I do think we have a lot of potential here. And, this is what I've been saying. It's all about control. Everybody has control. And you're in the project. The amount of tokens you have is the control you have over the price. It's the amount of control you have over the sentiment of the project. The more people that enter the whale pool, the more they're taking that control and committing it to the future growth of the project. That's one major aspect of control that we all have as holders. Hey, what's going on, John? The other major aspect that you have is the marketing, the help you do with the marketing. If you're making videos, making posts, joining AMAs, joining whatever, liking, I kind of see it as we all want something to happen, and some of us are getting up and we're pulling on this rope, right? We're trying to pull up the money off a cliff or something like that, just for a metaphor. And other people are, they might just be sitting back and not helping. And so the more people in the community that get up and grab that rope and start pulling, and through your efforts, through the control you have with the tokens you have, and through your efforts, the control you have with engaging with the content. And, it's like if you can't make content, engage with it. But don't take the mindset of I'll sit back and let everybody else do it. Like there's a group of people within the community that are going to all think that way. And they are definitely dragging the rest of us down in terms of not participating or helping in any way. I get it. We got lives. You got to be busy. I would also make this point that what would you do for $100,000 or $1,000,000 is what I've been saying. People will do crazy stuff. They'll do challenges. They'll live in the woods. They'll face their fears. They'll go without their family for a while. You'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so for this to kind of have the potential that it does, the more serious we all take it in terms of planning and brainstorming and marketing and pushing and making content and all that, the more likely we are to succeed. The less people that do that, that's where I say is like, I have control over certain things in this project. I don't have control over whether it succeeds or not. I have some control, but ultimately it's about utilizing the control that I do have to encourage you guys to understand that it's all of us. It's going to take all of us to make this thing work. I don't want this thing to be kind of successful. I don't want it to go up a little bit and then come down and that's it. I want this to be a top crypto that people have heard of. And we've removed all the bad actors, right? There's no access to liquidity. There's no rugging. No one's getting any tokens. We removed all the bad actors. That's a major benefit towards the growth of the project. That's usually downward pressure. If someone's taking money out of the LP or someone's giving themselves tokens to dump on the project, that's downward pressure, which stops the project from being able to grow as much. And outside of removing all those bad actors, we have this tax that kind of protects us in a sense from people who are trying to come in and abuse the project. They still can. You can still come in and do a 10x and make profit. You can still come in and do a 20, 30, 40, 50, 100x and make profit. You're just going to be paying the buy fee. You're going to be forfeiting your rewards, and you're going to be paying the sell fee. And so that's kind of the goal of this project. Is I won't really consider this a success if we don't blow up. I will be like, no, we failed, because the goal of this project is to blow up, like at least somewhat to what Evergrow or Safemoon did. If it's not on that level, or at least kind of close to that level, like a quarter or a tenth of what they did, then I would consider this a failure. So we'll see how it goes. Gratefully Dedicated, what's going on? What's up, John? Safemoon and Evergrow can do well, then there's no doubt Control Token can do the same, if not better, especially in the long term. Yeah, we have an amazing structure. We just have to get that momentum going. And so it's going to be up to us as a community to get that momentum going. And we start in 12 minutes, guys. We're going to be joining on the Twitter. You can be on the Twitter or the YouTube. We're going to be doing an AMA with DeFi Mark for 30 minutes to an hour. I have a lot of things going on in the background. I don't want to overhype you guys about them, but I have a lot of things. There is a lot going on in the background that could be really big for Control Token. I'm not going to let you like wildly speculate about how insane it could be, but I have ideas that are going to be happening soon. I have an idea that I think is an amazing idea that I haven't seen any project do, and I really hope that one comes through. I'm willing to put a decent amount of the treasury towards that to make sure that happens. So we'll see. You guys will be finding out about this. And like I said, when we go live, people are like, where's Crypto Control on the launch? Why isn't he talking about the launch? It's like, well, we did great, but we got a lot of work to do. The pre-sale, that's nice and all, and that kind of is awesome what we did, right? But that's not an achievement to me. An achievement is getting this project to blow up. That's my only goal. It's all of you guys are involved in this. It can't all be on my shoulders. Like, I'll try as much as it is on my shoulders, but if we all take that burden and say we must get this project to blow up, and everybody who enters into the project thinks that way, it's much more likely to happen, right? And so that's what I'm focused on, because I know that if we secure that initial pump, and that if we can take that as high as possible, if we can take it further than most projects, then we can put ourselves on the map of everybody, and we will have secured a permanent future of stablecoin from the buy pressure and from the future sell pressure into these reward events that naturally like hype themselves up. The 6-month reward event naturally hypes itself up. The 12-month reward event is massive, but we have to blow up. That's the key. When people are talking about how do you sustain long-term volume, it is we have to blow up in the beginning. Now it could be that we don't, and we could still succeed. We have to approach this from wherever we're at. We don't know what we're going to be, whether we blow up, whether the price tanks, whether we have sideways volume, whether we don't have much volume. It's a problem that we as a community and as a team can face as people on a mission who want this thing to succeed. And we can know that the success of this project isn't just getting the price to go up so that whales can take profits and then everybody else can be exit liquidity. Success of this project that we're focused on is these rewards, and getting these rewards we know is securing a future for all of the people who commit to the future of the project. And that's just an amazing thing to be behind. To have permanent value in the future is an amazing thing. You have a massive pump and a massive dump in Control Token. You have a different situation than any other project that's ever existed. Because any other project, a massive pump and a massive dump, you've lost the sentiment, you've lost the hope and belief, and there's no future value to look toward to. And everybody is trying to create something that'll lead to that value. What we're doing is if we get that pump, and we get that dump, we massively are shifting a ton of that value into the future in a big way. And that will incentivize the growth of the project. That can incentivize more volume. And the more volume that happens, the more it grows. And so what that could leave us with is, like I've always said, one of the longest, high tax reward projects with, we'd probably be the biggest reward project ever if we can do this. But we have to secure blowing up at the launch. And I've told you guys this before. If you're in the YouTube side of things, we're about to start up on the Twitter in like 3 minutes before Mark jumps in here. And if you make a YouTube video, if you make a connection, if you do marketing, whether it be in real life or a Twitter space or something, I'm going to keep an eye on people who are putting in the effort every day, and I'm going to try to use the treasury to reward you. But if you make a big effect, if you bring in a lot of people through a connection, through a video that goes viral, through an article that goes viral, through Twitter spaces. However, if you make a big effect on Control Token, I am paying attention to those people. I've already done this, by the way, who are helping grow Control Token, and I'm using the treasury to reward them. It's a much better structure, I think, than paying other people who don't really care about the project for this community to know. I've rewarded about 5 or 6 individuals to send them a little thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Hey, you've had a little bit of an impact on the project. Thank you. I want to say thank you to you. And so just know that your efforts in this project are not going unnoticed, and they will be rewarded out of the treasury. So important to keep that in mind as well. Do you happen to know how long it took Evergrow to blow up after the launch? It was within a month. It was like weeks before Evergrow blew up. Safemoon ever going to do that? Woot woot. Do you happen? Okay, I've got a decent sized bag, says John, and are definitely in it for 12 months at the very least. I'm committing to the 12-month staking pool. I'm going to encourage everybody. Hey, you want to have a bag to take profits? That's totally a good idea. I think you should. But the more of us that commit to the staking pools, the more we are kind of securing the future of the project in a big way. So question, if you couldn't get 2 BNB worth of token, can you still join the whale pool if you buy more later? Yeah, you can buy your way up into whatever 1.1 million tokens is. I forget what the exact number is. I can pull it up real fast, but we're about to start the Twitter side of things, so my voice is going to change from this mic to the Twitter mic. But let me check that real fast. We had some numbers. Where are those numbers at? Yeah, so it's coming out to the number that tokens you need to be in the whale pool to get those extra whale rewards from the 1% of volume, and the extra whale rewards from the 12-month rewards, that all the unstaking fees that fill this extra pool at the 12-month staking fee. That's going to be 1,190,476.19 tokens. So you'll need about 1,190,500,000 tokens to round up a little bit. Once you get that amount, whether the price goes down and it gets cheaper to get, or whether the price goes up and it's more expensive to get, you stake that amount. You have to stake at least 1,190,000 into the whale pool, and you'll automatically be, or into the 12-month rewards, and you'll automatically be getting the extra 1% that only the whales get every 3 months, on top of your 1 month, on top of your 6 month, on top of your 12 months. So pretty cool structure. Awesome. We got 32 people in here, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button. We're about to have DeFi Mark, used to be known as Safemoon Mark, made those math videos, made Surge. I'm about to start the Twitter project, and then he's going to come in, he's going to answer your questions and talk about the project a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Twitter side of things right now. Make sure to like on YouTube. I'll be keeping an eye on chat on YouTube. I'll try to get your questions to Mark as we go on. Your rewards are just, they'll sit in the claim pool. Even if you don't claim them, they'll just be sitting there. Nothing to worry about on that end, brother. True Do Cool, welcome to the chat. Good to see you guys. I know a lot of people are working, but they can always watch this later. I usually try to do these a little bit later in the day, but this is what we're going with right now. Okay, let me switch to the Twitter. Sorry, having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to do it on my PC and my phone so that I can get the audio over on the YouTube side of things, and it wasn't coming through on the YouTube, and I tried to fix it, and it like shut down the space. So sorry about that, guys. Let's find Mark and see if we can't get Mark in here. Cool. I'll send him a message. Hopefully he'll be showing up and I can bring him up. And then let me try to fix the audio for the YouTube side of things real fast. Actually, the X is back up, so we're just waiting on Mark. Let me shoot him a message real fast. Usually, I don't have problems with the audio. That's kind of weird. You can turn in at the preset. You should be able to check your contribute amount. All right, we're just waiting on Mark now. And I might just have to do the audio from the phone into the mic on the PC, which works, because then you can hear my voice and the thing. Hopefully that comes through pretty good. Usually this doesn't have any issues. This is so annoying. All right, I'm joining now. What's your turn now? Never mind. I requested. Sweet. Hey, what's going on, Mark?
Hello, how's it going, everyone? Can you guys hear me all right? My Wi-Fi has been awful today. I had to turn it off, so I'm running on data right now. Hopefully it's still coming through clearly.
Yeah, you sound good. Can you hear me? Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is, I've been doing control token AMAs, by myself for quite a while, but it's the first time where you can kind of get into some of the technical questions. And so we have a couple places where people were posting questions, but we can also just bring up speakers if you guys want to come up. That might be the easiest place to start. So if you guys want to go ahead and raise your hands that have questions. And before we do that, Mark, if you had something that you wanted to say about control token, about the coding, about the contract, or about the future of it and what's possible, whatever's on your mind or whatever, you could do that while we're getting questions ready and getting people up here.
Absolutely, no problem at all. And if you have any questions from people that are posting it anywhere, feel free to rattle them off as well. I'll just start by saying, I say this whenever I come up for any project that I help with. I am a full-time DeFi developer. Anyone that knows me knows that crypto and DeFi specifically are passions of mine. So I love helping out projects in the space. I've worked with hundreds over the last 3 years or so. Crypto Control has always been a buddy of mine, even from way back in the day, back in the old Safemoon days. We've always kept in contact, so when he wanted to start his project, I said I would help him. I just want everyone to know, because I do, this happens a lot for me, where I'll come on and talk for a project that I'm working with, and then everyone goes and thinks that I'm the core team behind it, but that's not necessarily the case. I build for a lot of different projects. This is Crypto Control's vision, his baby. He's been the one running the show and doing it. I'm just helping him with the dev and coding side of things, but I'm not on the team at all. So please don't do anything just because I'm in this space or on the stand right now. Make your own decisions and definitely check it out and do your own research. Just want to make sure that was clear. We're good friends, and I put my heart and soul into everything I develop, so that doesn't change at all. But I just wanted to know that I'm not officially part of the core team, so to speak. But I'm still happy to answer any technical questions about it. And maybe in the future there's opportunity for us to do stuff together in a more official capacity. But as of right now, that's where it stands. But yeah, just wanted to put that disclaimer out, because I wouldn't have had to put these disclaimers out. There's a lot of times where people think that, I'm on the team and invest because of that. But just make your own decisions. And
I've made it clear to people that that you just are doing the dev work. I mean, you're the dev for it, but you're not on the team. It's basically you just bringing, and you helped me kind of mold this vision, because I came to you with it, and what I came with is a little bit different, and we were able to get it, all those details. I think with the whale pool, I came to you with this idea for a whale pool, and you seemed to like that idea of having rewards that were specific to whales, but that was years ago, and then we just kind of pulled away, and then we finally came back and was like, hey, I'm ready to do it. So yeah, Mark's not officially on the team. That doesn't mean that he's not the one who did the coding for it, and that doesn't mean that he doesn't think this is a great idea, right, Mark?
Yeah, I still stay on, I still consult, give my input where I can. I feel when it comes to quote unquote on the team, I don't even know how you even quantify or to define that, so to speak, but I am the one. I do help with giving my advice here and there. We don't always. Me and Crypto Control have different areas that we necessarily believe in, but we've come to terms on a lot of this stuff, and we both agree that some pretty cool stuff. I've never seen what he's doing now done before, so to speak, with this mechanism that he has. So it's definitely interesting. I definitely love gathering data, seeing how different things perform under different environments. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I've been very impressed and proud with the community he's gathered together, and what he's done so far. You have like almost 400 people, individual people that contributed to the sale, which was amazing. It blew my expectations out of the water. So I'm just here to support him. I'm proud of him, and I'm here to help him out and answer any questions that he or any of the community have. So yeah, feel free. I'm here.
Awesome. What do you have, like a time frame, just so I can try to make sure I'm sticking to that time frame? 6:30.
I always have stuff going on, but whenever whenever all the questions are fielded and everything's come to a close, we did also talk about maybe gauging the community's interest on a few different things as well. We could get into that later. Well, for now, let's just get started with some questions.
We'll say that for the end. And like I said, if you're on the Twitter side of things, any questions, don't be afraid. I came to Mark when I knew nothing about DeFi, and I was asking him questions, and he didn't know who I was, and he just started answering all my questions about tokenomics and wallets that don't receive reflections and all that stuff. So he really helped me start to understand tokenomics with what little I do understand. So any question you have, don't be embarrassed to ask it, and Mark will answer that for you. Go ahead and raise your hands on the Twitter side of things, and I'm going to go to the YouTube if you guys got any comments, and then I'm going to go to this Twitter post that has a bunch of comments under it. We're going to try to rapid fire these so that we can make sure everybody gets their questions answered. Okay, we'll go to YouTube first. Let's see. Will the amount to get into the whale pool always be 2 BNB? Oh, no, yeah. You can go ahead and answer that, Mark. But yeah, that's an easy one. I can answer that. The amount is that basically 1.2 million tokens, right? 1,190,476 tokens. That's what you'll need, even if the price increases for those amount of tokens. If it does a 10x or a 50x, that's what it'll cost to get that amount of tokens to get into the whale pool.
Yeah, so I'll just follow that up and say there was a little bit of a miscommunication on my end when I was talking with him about the numbers to get into it. But it was promised that 2 BNB would be the amount needed, so we decided to make the whale pool entry exactly what 2 BNB of tokens is worth at launch. Now, when it comes to 2 BNB in the future, who knows what the price of the token will be? It can do anything, it can go up or down, but it's not going to be dependent on BNB, it's going to be dependent on the number of tokens. So as the price rises or falls or whatever, the ability to get into the whale pool will rise or fall alongside it. So it's not necessarily 2 BNB. It is exactly as he said, that 1.19 million, etc., whatever it is. That will be the amount needed to gain access.
Awesome. Enik Siak says, will the total amount staked be visible on the website?
Amount staked? Yeah, absolutely. So the way I make staking contracts as well, I do this for every staking contract I've made for all my clients, they are actually tokens. So you can actually add the staking contract itself to your wallet, and it'll show you it's like staked control. So that way, you can still track your balances. You don't have to remember that you have tokens staked in a way. Some people find this really helpful, others not as much. But yeah, you can add the staking contract, which will be available to your wallet, and it'll show you the amount of tokens you have staked. And because it's a token, in a sense, you can still go to BSC scan, search that address, and actually see a holders list, just like as you would a normal token. So all that data will be fully and publicly visible.
Awesome. I almost don't want to ask this one because I think I have to skip that one, CT Dog, but I'll get back to you on that one. Kyle Reed says... Okay, I probably can't ask that one either, but I'm going to go ahead and go to the Twitter side of things. Keep the questions related to Control Token, guys. When will Surge website and DApp be up and running properly again?
Yeah, great question. That one has been in the control of DApp, a Web3 agency that I help with quite often and do work for a lot. They're friends of mine as well, real life and in crypto. They've been in charge of the V3 of that for a little while. It's getting a whole new update and splash page and everything. But all that shit will be available before Control Tokens Live.
Awesome. Next question is probably more so one for me. It says, have you developed a marketing strategy yet? When will paid marketing begin? What are some of the marketing ideas you have? Yes, so for my perspective, I've made this pretty vocal, and I'll try to do this pretty quick because I'd rather use questions for Mark while we're here, and you guys almost always have me. Is that I don't want to hype up the launch. I just kind of want to announce it to you guys like one time on Twitter, announce it in the Discord and the Telegram, and then launch, and then focus on marketing. So right now is the time that I want to work with you guys to build up content, spaces, partnerships, build up marketing to get ready for launch, and after we launch, we can do a push. And that includes, reaching out to other YouTubers, making my own content. I'll be making content every day for Control Tokens, so that's a pretty cool thing to have. And we do have a lot planned for that. How do the 2 liquidity pools operate? I just haven't seen, or at least not been aware of, a 2 LP token. This guy has like...
is this for arbitrage type of a thing?
I think so, yeah.
About this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, most tokens have more than one liquidity pool. I mean, some small caps don't, I guess, but most tokens that have, over a couple $100,000, some even with far less, operate on different dexes. So with 2 liquidity pools, it can be either the same dex, like PancakeSwap, with, say, paired with BNB and BUSD, or they could be 2 different dexes. There's multiple reasons to have multiple liquidity pools. One of the main reasons is to not put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're a token paired solely with BNB, then you are fully reliant on the price of BNB, and the price of BNB will dictate the value of the token. So for instance, if the token doubles in price, but BNB halves in price, the token would be the same US dollar value. So some people like to hedge that risk and pair with a stable coin like USDC. So that way, independent of the market moving, the asset has its own defined value. And it has a little bit of it still will have some with BNB, of course. So that way it still follows the uptrends and the downtrends, but your downside's protected a little more by having that stable coin define the value of the token. Because the thing about a liquidity pool is you are defining the value of your token with another token. So having all of your value be defined by one asset is a little risky, and it comes to some, because you have to fully trust that other asset. So doing things like a stable coin is really good because it gives your token its own independent value separate from other assets, but you can still gain in with it. So if 100% of your token's backed with BNB, then you're 100% reliant on BNB. But if you do 50-50, then you're only half reliant on BNB, and the other half is from natural buys and sells. And you don't have to worry about people buying from one pool or another. That doesn't really matter. If someone does a big buy on BNB, we have an arbitrage setup so that it will automatically rebalance the pools and actually take some of that profit and put it back into the project instead of another bot or MEV bots or arbitrage actors profiting from this difference. Ours will be the only one profiting from it, and so we'll actually be putting that value instead of into random people's pockets. It'll go right back into the control token system. And the other reason is even if you're paired with BNB but on 2 different exchanges, the benefit of that is just more exposure and more places to buy the asset. But those are pretty much the main reason why you would want more than one liquidity pool. And in this instance, since there's been a lot raised, and this is looking to be a much bigger project than at least I thought at the beginning, it's smart to diversify what gives your token value. It protects everyone in the long term. In the short term, you never know. BNB might run up, it might run down, but hedging that risk a little bit is usually a good idea.
Awesome. The price, I believe you said the starting price is going to be 0.001. That's what you sent me.
Unless the price of BNB swings rapidly, it'll be right around that number. Considering the presale was raised in BNB, and that's where the funds for the presale are stored, the price, quote unquote, of the token in BNB is set. It's one token is 0.0000168 BNB. But the US dollar value of that will depend on if BNB swings up to 700 or down to 500. It might change, but it'll be around that figure.
Awesome. His second question was, are the control control tokens staked to the LP?
What do you mean? The control so that might mean, are the LP tokens going to be locked? Yes, they should definitely be locked. At least the majority of them. Sometimes it's good to have some on hand for things like exchange listings, etc. Maybe you want to move to a new hot exchange that comes out. Now, I don't think anything's going to really top PancakeSwap anytime soon, but it's usually good to have some of them, but at least you want 75% locked to make sure that, everything's safe and no one can touch anything, even if walls get compromised, etc. The project's still safe. Staked, I'm not sure too much what it means. That could also mean, do they earn rewards? And the answer is no. Tokens in the liquidity pool do not earn any rewards, and they will not be participating in staking.
I think he was asking where did the tokens exist while they're being staked. I think that's what he was asking.
Oh, they're in the staking contract. So what staking is more or less is, in this sense of it, in the DeFi sense, it's a smart contract that locks up tokens for a certain amount of time and gives a reward because of that commitment that you put in. Now, some staking is different. If you stake something on crypto.com, they actually get your money and they can use it. That's not what we do in the DeFi realm of things. No one has access to the tokens when they're staked except you. And the only way you can access them is by withdrawing them whenever you want to. So they're still your tokens. They're just being held in a staking contract instead of in your wallet, so you can't sell them because you're making that commitment to get those rewards.
Awesome. And yeah, and I don't know if we've explained to the community before, so it might be good for you to explain how you show them the amount of tokens through that separate token that they get in their wallet that shows how much they have staked, and that allows them to look at a holders list to see all of the tokens that are being staked as well.
Yeah, that's not really like a core functionality. It's more like a nice addition I put into my staking contracts just for better visualization for people, so they can still add the contract to their wallet, so they can still see it in their wallet, so they don't forget about it. I've had times where I completely forget that I stake tokens and they're just gone. So doing this is kind of nice, and some people have approached me before and said it really helps. The way that you get a quote unquote token to show on BSC scan is you just simply need a name, a symbol, a total supply, decimals, and you need to emit a transfer function whenever tokens are moved. And that's what we do just in the staking contract. Now, these staked tokens, you can't transfer them. They're not liquid. You would have to unstake and get your actual control tokens back to be able to do things like sell them or send them to a friend. This is more or less a visualization tool that you can use to better track your balance and things like that.
Awesome. So, Mark, I'm trying to... You tell me if this is enough time or if it's not enough time, because obviously the more time you have to answer these questions, the better. But we're 13 minutes till 6 Central. If you're kind of short on time, we could do 13 more minutes of questions, and then at 6 we could talk about the other things. Or if you have a little bit more time, if you want to go till 6:05 or 6:10, that would give people a little bit more time to come up and get their questions. But just trying to... For me, it doesn't matter. It's just more so about your time frame on what that looks like.
I have some time. It's okay. If it ends up going a little past 7 before we stop questions, it's totally fine. I'm happy to make sure everyone has their questions answered.
Okay, I'm going to ask this one real fast, and then we can go to the Phoenix. This is somebody on the YouTube side of things saying, will there be liquidity staking in either one of the liquidity pools?
Well, that's actually up to Crypto Control. Now, liquidity staking is really good to have if you're trying to boost the amount of liquidity you have. The Crypto Control has done really well in his raise, so there is going to be quite a bit of liquidity in the token. So I'm not too sure that getting more is that necessary or that important. But for those of you that don't know, liquidity staking is when instead of just staking the single token, like staking control token itself, you would pair control token with BNB, and then you would stake those LP tokens to earn a reward. And usually staking LP, you get a much bigger reward than just staking tokens because, you're putting up more risk with your asset as well as the token and permanent loss and all that fun stuff. But I think that I don't know if that's on his roadmap, but that's up to him. But it's certainly something we could add. There's no reason why we couldn't at all. But at the beginning, what we have set up so far is just for single token staking. So you get your control tokens, you can go in, you can stake those control tokens and earn rewards. If that's something that he wants to add in the future, we certainly could, and I'm sure if enough of you want that, he would be amenable to it, because he's always, whenever I've been talking with Crypto Control, he's always telling me it's like, oh, well, if the community wants it, then yes. His main focus is making sure he does what's good for everyone. So yeah, if that's something you guys want, just bug him about it, and I'm sure we'll get it.
That's funny. So I guess Phoenix dropped down, but I sent you a co-host invite just so, because sometimes it shows people, it won't show me people that are raising their hands. If you want to accept that and bring people up. Yep. If anybody else, guys, this is kind of your window. Put your hand up if you want to come up and ask Mark a question. Now's the time to do that. It's very hard to get Mark in a space. So if you have questions that you feel are important, now's the time to ask it. The other question was, is there a limit on the debit card, when people are buying on the website?
Yes. There will be based on where you live, as well as some other factors as well. The service we use, the third part, basically will let us do things like you can buy the token and you can buy and stake, which is really cool with a credit card. So without even needing to sign any transactions or do anything, you just need a wallet. You can use a credit card. It will buy the tokens and then stake them for you in the pool that you want. The limit, it does depend on where you live. I am not super fluent on what those limits are depending on where you live, but I know it's usually up to around like $5,000. And you could always just do it again if you wanted to. I'm not sure. There might be a daily limit per user. I think that's around 25,000, but they are adding some cool stuff as well where you'll be able to do things like ACH transfers and wire transfers, and if the debit limit is too low for your liking. I don't believe that's set up yet, but that will be something soon that the credit card provider we're using will implement.
Awesome. We had somebody up here, but I think they keep dropping down. That's kind of weird. Going live, I think we're looking at sometime next week. Mark, does that sound about right? Sometime next week?
Yes, absolutely. Wanted to make sure everything was good. After we got the audits back, we've been nailing down the website, getting a lot of that data on there for tracking the control event and the rewards, etc. And then we had to do some different stuff to the staking contract to make sure it worked with what Crypto Control wanted with the whale pools and everything. So we had to kind of edit that a good bit. So that's what kind of pushed it back a little bit. I know you guys have been waiting for launch for a minute now, but everything should be squared away. It's just testing now. So I'd strongly say yes next week, most likely.
Awesome. And staking will be live. Once we launch, people will be able to immediately go to the website and stake, right?
Yep, 100%.
Awesome. And so you'll be able to buy on traditionally just like Pancake Swap whenever we launch, and you'll be able to use the website. We'll have that credit card option for people, and you don't have to interact with Web3 or have a DeFi wallet until you go to cash out. Then you have to connect a wallet, and then you can use a SEX to get it into your bank account. Is that right, Mark?
Oh, well, you do need a wallet to buy the tokens so that they can be sent to you. It's non-custodial, so it's not like we're going to have custody of the tokens. You don't need gas in your wallet or anything, but you would want to set up like a MetaMask or at least paste in an address of a wallet that you have. And then, yes, the tokens will be bought and they will be sent to that address that's there, either the one that's connected or the one that you paste in. Because, yeah, we don't have custody of it because that would...
okay, I must have misunderstood you. I thought you said that people...
There'd be a bunch of legal stuff with that. I mean, you don't need Web3 functionality,
Okay.
really. You just need a wallet. You don't need to, like, sign transactions or have gas in there or have BNB or anything.
Oh, okay.
You just need an address where they will go. And when it's time to cash out, yeah, you would need to get some BNB in there. You will be able to also buy BNB from the site as well, though. So if you are ready to cash out and unstake and you want to do those Web3 DeFi kind of transactions, then you could just easily buy a little bit of BNB right from there to do it, and you're good to go.
The pre-sale ended on Monday, darling. Can you buy to your own wallet? Can you add to your stake as you go? That's probably a good question for Mark to explain the technical aspect of that.
Yes, you are able to continuously add to your stake amount and to multiple pools as well. So for instance, like let's say you have 100,000 tokens, you could put 20,000 in the 1 month, 40,000 in the 6 month, and 40,000 in the 1 year if you want, and you can continuously add to any pool you want as many times as you want as well. The cool thing about this staking pool as well is adding tokens to the stake will not reset your lock time. You actually get what's called a new stake ID. It's almost like an NFT in a way that represents your stake. That will do it. So like let's say you have 1 million tokens in there for a year. Adding more tokens will not reset that timer. Those tokens will still unlock after that 1 year is over, and your new stake will go for however long you stake it for, whichever pool you join.
Awesome. Hey, Justin, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. What's your question for Mark?
Yeah, so I posted it, but just real quickly, so you had answered previously that the pre-sale was like a sliding scale, so as more and more people bought in, they're getting less and less as that pool grows for the pre-sale. But is there anything on the pre-sale website that we can check? I mean, I did that probably like day 1, day 2, and I don't even remember what I put in or what it might be now. Or do we just wait for the airdrop next week?
If you go onto the pre-sale and connect your wallet, the same wallet that you contributed from, it should show you how much you contributed. And now that the pre-sale is over, we know how many tokens that will be worth. I could put an update into the site to show that amount as well, what you would expect to get from the airdrop. But as of right now, it'll show you your amount. But if you want to do the math yourself, if you don't want to wait, 2 BNB is about 1.19 million tokens. So if you see you have 1 BNB, just divide the number by half, so on and so forth.
Thank you much.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, guys, on the Twitter side of things, like I said, this won't happen very often that we get Mark in a space. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. I can do a couple more on Twitter and YouTube, and then we're going to go and talk about something else that's still related to Control Token, but it's more so on Mark's end of what he specializes in. Let me check real quickly. What security measures have been implemented to ensure the safety of the contract and staking pool?
We got them both audited, and we've been looking into getting a second audit as well, just for added security. But yeah, it's been audited by Solidproof, and we've reached out to Hackett and Certic as well, trying to shop around for a good quote from some of the top dogs also. Solidproof already gave it its stamp of approval, said it was safe, passed all tests, etc. And we wanted to get a second audit as well because it never hurts to get more and more eyes on it.
Awesome. Rob, XUSD Rob, the rewards are paid in XUSD. That's the rewards everybody's getting is XUSD.
And Control Token.
With the, you get rewards in Control Token from only the unstaking fees, right?
Well, yes, but all I was saying was you get both rewards. You get rewards in both assets.
Okay.
But yes, I guess the the amount of Control Token from the taxes that is added to it, yes, would be at XUSD. But there are rewards that will also go out in Control Token as well.
Yeah, but the volume is all XUSD. The 2%, the 4%, the monthly, the 6 month, and the 12 month. That's all XUSD.
Yes, and it's also pretty dynamic as well. So if he wants to change that asset or swap it out for a new asset or anything else too, the contract is very dynamic and allowing any kind of reward token as well. So infinite possibilities with what we can reward and what we want to reward with. But to start, I believe that is the plan, correct?
Yeah, I want to force everybody to get XUSD because then it kind of benefits everybody who's holding XUSD, and the contract will keep buying XUSD, and that'll keep raising the price of it.
Definitely a solid return so far. I mean, XUSD's been out for about 2 years now, and it's up about 33%. But on a stable coin, that's far better than any bank or anything else that's in terms of stable coin returns thus far. So definitely was happy to hear you say that because I have a lot of love for that project. And yeah, absolutely.
Is there any concern about stable coins being a problem with the government or anything like that?
Well, you're not making your own stable coin, so I wouldn't say so. And USDC, which is what XUSD is backed by, won their lawsuit. So they're in the clear right now. Coinbase, well, I don't know if they won per se, but they paid a bunch of fines and got the SEC off their back. So I say we're absolutely safe for the time being. And if anything were to come up again, as I said before, it is possible to change that reward token over if it does become an issue in the future.
Awesome, yeah, because Evergrow rewarded in BUSD, and then BUSD ended up getting shut down. So it's good to know that we have a backup plan in case something like that does happen. Somebody is asking why they have to claim their rewards. Sorry.
I mean, an auto claim feature could happen, but it's going to be given out like in monthly, 6 month, and 12 month intervals. So I don't know. It just makes sense to have you claim it. You can let it sit up there and stack if you wanted to, or you can claim it if you want. Your rewards aren't going to go anywhere. They're just going to be sitting there accruing. I mean, I built in the ability to claim for everyone at the end for crypto control. So if that's something that people want to do in the future, if they don't want to click the button, he could do it and fund the gas cost, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's not really a...
Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, so if you stake in the 6 month, guys, that stake for the 6 month automatically gets the 1 month rewards. And if you stake in the 12 month, you automatically get the 6 month and the 1 month rewards as well.
Correct.
So, awesome. When you get control in XUSD, wait, do we have? Oh, we do have somebody else up. Hey, Sam, what's going on? Sorry, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So when we say going live next week, is that the website goes live or
Everything?
everything goes live next week.
Yes, sir. The token will be tradable on PancakeSwap. Everyone will get their airdrops and staking, and the website will be up.
Okay, sweet, great, thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. Great question.
Someone asked, this will probably be the last question, and if you guys have any questions on Twitter, now's your chance to raise your hand. Otherwise, you can always ask me, and I can try to shoot Mark a message when he's not busy and get your questions, but this is really the best opportunity for you guys to do it now. Ask those technical questions. The last one I see on YouTube is, when you get Control and XUSD and rewards, will there be one claim button for both or one for each?
Yes, one for both. Claiming your rewards will, what was I going to say? We'll claim both of them. And additionally, too, if the rewards are ready to claim, so after the year event or the 6-month event, you can always stake more tokens to claim them as well. I mean, there's not really a reason to do that unless you want to stake more anyway. But yeah, you just can click that button and you'll get both assets. And if Control is feeling generous and he wants to pay the gas for everyone to get their tokens, he can always click that master button if he wanted to.
Yeah, we'll see how how it's looking for that.
It's built in because in order to change the reward tokens, everyone has to claim their rewards from the old token. So that's why that button is there, by the way. But it can be used to just claim people's rewards anyway. But yeah, in general, like let's say you want to go from XUSD to like Bitcoin. One XUSD is worth a lot less than one Bitcoin. So you want to claim everyone's rewards and then change it over so that it's starting tracking from zero again. That's why that button's there, in case anyone was wondering.
Oh, okay.
And when you claim, when he claims everyone's rewards, I hope you guys know what I mean. It goes to your wallet,
yeah.
So he doesn't take everyone's rewards.
I can just take your guys' rewards, is what.
Yeah, no, he can't just take your guys' rewards. Yeah, I should have probably worded that a little better, but what I mean is he can pay the gas to trigger the claim for everyone.
That's awesome.
Mark, I have another question.
Yes, sir.
So, when it comes to the website, can you just collaborate a little bit about the safety and security, just what you can?
Absolutely. So the main website, there's nothing to really worry about. It's just static data. The staking site is just connected to the smart contract. The smart contract is where all the security implications, if any, would arise, but we've gotten it audited, and we're going to get a second audit as well, just to further reassure everyone of its safety, and so everyone can see it, and it's been peer reviewed and tested. It already has been, and it passed it with flying colors. I believe Crypto Control posted the audit results. No issues whatsoever. They have to say something on there, so they just say random things about like if an address is, you can read it yourself. It was perfectly fine. But yeah, in terms of safety and security, the best way to ensure it is to get it peer reviewed by specialists, which we have, and we will continue to do as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the really reason we wanted a second audit as well, since this is a brand new kind of staking contract that I've never seen before, at least in my experience. It's always good to get stuff that's brand new, peer reviewed, and so far they've been testing it, they've looked at it, nothing's wrong with it as far as we and other professionals can tell, which is always a good sign.
And as long as it's not like some crazy price, we might get a higher up auditing person to stress test it or to make sure it's even.
Absolutely. Good to get Certic, because Certic's just industry standard, and they really do put in the most effort from what I've seen. Solid Proof is amazing as well, but Certic has like an aggressive amount of tests, and they even fork the blockchain and like run millions of tests on it in the back end. They go above and beyond. So that's definitely like my target of what I would want for peer review in a sense.
Awesome. This might be the last question. So raise your hand. If not, then after this question, we'll probably go into talking about something else related to Control Token. This one comes from the Discord, and the first one's more so towards me, which is marketing. Are you considering working with Atlas Wallet team once they launch? I'm definitely open to like any opportunity, but it's just going to be, is it good for the project or is it not? Because if it's not, then I'm not going to do it. If it is, then I definitely will do it. The second question, and then we can go to Crypto Life, is will staking have a compound function?
I was going to add that in. We still could, technically, if we wanted to. Right now, you just claim it, but since staking doesn't what's it called? Since restaking doesn't reset your lock timer like it does with a lot of staking protocols, it's pretty easy to just claim it and then stake whatever you have in there. We could add a compound function. That's fine. The only reason we didn't is because rewards only go out once a month, 6 months, and a year. So it's not like you'll be compounding that frequently. But that would be something not too hard to add in by any means. But in general, what's really nice about this staking so the reason why a lot of staking protocols have compound functions is because you can get around the lock time resetting by just compounding your tokens in that sense. But with ours, you're able to stake as many times as you want without resetting your lock time, which is nice.
Well, the lock time of the first stake, it still is a new lock time of every time you do a new stake, it's its own stake for a certain period of time.
Yes, correct. So
okay.
With a lot of staking protocols, it's based on users. But with ours, every time you stake, it effectively makes an NFT that is the owner, and the NFT just routes funds to you, in a sense. It's a little complex. I don't mean to go into the nitty-gritties of it. All you got to know is that staking, again, doesn't reset any timers. You just get a new stake, in a sense, a new stake timer.
Awesome. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was almost like compounding might not be a good thing because it might be better to build up your rewards before you decide to commit them to a pool, whether it be a month or 6 or 12 month. But I guess having it as an option might be a good thing. But it might be better if you're putting a conscious effort into understanding what amount of tokens you're committing to which pool or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird too, because the XUSD would just go back to your wallet, and then So right now, what you can do is you can claim your rewards. If you wanted to take that XUSD and buy more control with it, you can, and then you could just restake it all if you wanted to.
Awesome. Crypto Life, I believe that's your name. Yeah, Crypto Life. Go ahead, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment.
Yeah, just a question on the staking fees or the unstaking fees. So say we stake for the year. When that year's complete, is that fee still
no.
charged to us, or is it?
No, that's only for unstaking early. So, yeah, I saw some of those graphics. I mentioned this to Crypto Control the other day. Those are just penalties. So if you commit for the year and you earn rewards on the yearly basis, and you leave before the year, it charges you a penalty, and that's for all the staking pools. It's basically because you're making a commitment to lock in. And if you breach that commitment, you face a penalty. But if you wait the whole year and your stake time, the timer goes to 0, you can unstake with 0 fees, 0 penalty whatsoever. And that's just the best way to do it, because some protocols just lock you in and make it so you can't unstake early. But sometimes an emergency arises and you need access to funds, etc. So we let people do it. But in order to make sure people don't game the system and take advantage of holders, we do have that large unstake penalty in there if you unstake early, and that just goes into extra rewards for everyone else.
Have you guys made a decision on the percentage of penalty? It was fluctuating from between 30 and 40.
I've been pitching higher and higher penalties for the longer and longer times. The reason why I think we should do a higher one even than 30 for the 12 month is just because of the amount of rewards that will accrue over 12 months. We want to make sure a scenario isn't possible where someone just enters in, gets a bunch of rewards, and then unstakes early and faces the penalty but still profits. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm voting for higher and higher penalties for the 12-month one. But I don't know if we've actually reached a decision on it, but those will be changeable if, say, a situation arises where there's an absolutely immense amount of rewards in a 12-month for some reason. I'll be able to do all that math and determine what the correct fee is. But for right now, I think we're still around the 30% mark, which should be fine unless some crazy abnormal situation happens and there's millions of dollars of rewards for some reason and not that much staked, for instance.
So guys, the reward events all happen for everybody at the same time. It's just whenever you commit to those reward events, whether you commit at the beginning or right before they happen, you're committing to holding for that amount of time. If you want the 1 month rewards, you have to stake for 1 month. If you want the 6 month rewards, you have to stake for 6 months. And if you want the 12 month rewards, you have to stake for 12 months. But when you stake, you're committing to that amount of time. And if you try to unstake any time during that time before you fill your time, you're going to hit an unstaking fee plus the sell fee if you're trying to sell. But if you finish that amount of time, then once you finish it, there is no unstaking fee. So I saw people asking about that, so I just want to clarify that. Other than that, I think that's everything, and we can go ahead. Oh, no, we got one more person, Mark. Rusk, Degen. Now you guys are coming
No
up.
problem.
Hey, what's up, Rusk? How's it going, man? Hey, what's your question for Mark, man?
Hey, Mark. I was just going to ask, what could the blockchain bring for control token in the future if they started a blockchain, control token blockchain?
Oh, are you asking about control chain?
Yeah, like the control chain.
Ha ha ha! See, I've been a big advocate for this for a while. I'm waiting for the official sign off from Crypto Control. So if that's something you want to see, definitely bug him about it. I have I have my own freelancing company. I work with thousands of projects, and I have a really kick-ass blockchain team I hired on. They've worked for Polygon CDK. They worked on Arbitrum. They're amazing, incredible. They even worked on Avalanche C Chain back in the day. They're some of the best blockchain devs I know. They're the best ones I know, at least. And we have everything we need to create control, which is something that I've always wanted to. And I have this idea for it in my head, at least, that I've wanted to roll out, where part of the gas fee goes in as extra rewards to buy up control token or whatever it is and give it out to the staking pool, or maybe burn it, or literally do anything. It'd be a great way to have extra passive income coming into the project, and even tokens that launch on that chain. Every transaction, we could take a piece of that gas fee and put it toward the token. So, if there's a ton of transaction, that's even every time someone approves, every time someone transfers, anytime anything happens on the chain, a piece of gas can get pumped right back into the rewards aspect of it. This is one of those things I wanted to bring up later and gauge the sentiment on, because I think it could be an incredible passive income utility for the project, and you can use your marketing roots and all the other people in the community that you guys know to get more and more people building on control chain. And every single transaction, every contract deployment, every transaction, piece of gas back into buying up the control token and raising its value and adding to rewards as well. So I'm a big fan of that. I heard that the community was wishy-washy on it, so I'm not too sure how everyone else feels, but that's definitely something that I think could add a lot of value in the future, and I would love to open the conversation on as well. And that's something you just got to bug. You got to bug the CEO man over here about, because I'm all for it. I fully agree that I think it's a great idea.
Oh, now we definitely know what to talk to SEC about, so for sure. I love it, absolutely.
I hope that answered your question, though. I'm sorry if I didn't. I kind of got carried away a little bit. I answered your question, right?
Yeah, you did. And if I have any more questions, I'll hit you up in the den.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
No, yeah, Crypto Control. It sounds like the community wants the blockchain, man.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I got these guys on. I've paid them. They're
We
not
can
here.
vote on it.
You could absolutely vote on it. Hell, I could even throw it on the site. Let people with the pre-sale, who's committed to the pre-sale already, cast a vote. That could be pretty fun.
Well, this is based off of one person coming up. I got to deal with the wrath of the control community when I brought it up to them.
Should we put a vote on the site?
No, yeah, we could totally do that. I do think that based off of kind of the community feedback, that utilities, like what control token is, and what it's focused on, because Mark really leans towards utilities. He thinks it's good to have outside revenue to fuel a project, and control token is a little bit different approach than that. My vision of it is that projects can blow up in the beginning, and our goal is to kind of, through this tax and through shifting value into the future, to hope that if we can get that moment to happen where we get that upward momentum, that it goes up as high as possible. And through a tax on the way up and through a tax on the way down, we're securing permanent value in the future, that even worst case scenario, people still have something to look forward to. Now, I would never say that I don't want utilities. I just don't want to get utilities that aren't going to actually help the project. And so I think control chain would be the best thing to do if we blow up, because if we do well and people are trying to copy us, then having our own chain where people could create their own projects and automatically use the tax and have a percentage of it going back to the project or towards control tokens rewards, that would be taking success and then capitalizing on it. And this is a dumb example, but like that Hawk Tua girl, she went viral for just making a dumb comment about Hawk Tua. Now she has partnerships, she has brand deals, she has all this stuff. She's capitalizing off her success. And so we need our initial success to happen. And then through the use of utilities, I think any utility will be, it depends, because people aren't going to use it unless they have a reason to. And I think that if control token does well by design, then all of these utilities will become amazing options for the project, maybe this year or maybe next year after the first control event happens.
my stance on it is more like, yes, of course, the tokenomics are set up in such a way to where everything you said is applied, but any additional utility and additional passive income will just be a bonus on top of it. There's not we're not vouching to change the tokenomics of the structure at all. It would be almost just finding ways to add more value, external revenue. So even if no one is buying the token today, it can still be going up in value, and there can still be rewards coming in. Is definitely an important thing. But I do see his side of it, and I fully agree. Like I said, I'm not necessarily on the team. I just give my advice when I can, and here to help build and write good code. It's pretty much my what's it called? My role in all of this. But hear me out. Maybe having your own chain could help it blow up even faster, potentially. And especially if you have a really active community, doing things like grants for people to build on the chain and everything, because every transaction that goes through would be buying up control in the back end. So every single time a transaction's done, and remember, selling a token, that's 2 transactions. You have to approve it first and then you sell it. So that's twice of that fee go into buying it up and giving it to rewards. But like I said, he's the visionary. This guy's he's the one running the show for the sense. So I can't say much about it, but you guys just got to bug him for it. If you guys want control chain, just comment when control chain under all of his tweets.
There is also a lot of, because here's my thinking is, when I design this, and everybody has a different perspective on this, I think it's a great idea. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that if I thought it was it's an okay idea. But when I designed this, it was kind of like, how should a project be? Well, it should be rewarding people who keep the project alive, and so much power, so much control, so much value is going to the people who are leaving the project, and leaving it, they're destroying it. And so it was kind of just like, hey, maybe if a project distributed the value differently in a way that incentivized growth, a project would do better. And I think that idea, because I haven't quite seen it done like this before, might prove to do really well. That's what we're aiming for. And if it does, then add utility on top of it. And if we build up more of a treasury, then we have more opportunity to be like, hey, let's make these different utilities. But I don't like making utilities for the sake of making utilities, because I think a lot of projects will do that just to kind of satisfy the community. Like, hey, we're building this, and that thing doesn't actually generate enough revenue to change anybody's bags or anything like that. I don't really want to make a utility that's going to get people excited and then have no effect or even a negative effect on their bag. But that doesn't mean that if we succeed, that I don't think that, like I said, capitalizing off of our success, utilizing our success. To bring up an example, I think that if Safemoon had put out an NFT marketplace very early on, when they had so many people that were hype about them, they could have taken fees from that NFT marketplace and used it to fuel giving back, staking back to the community. Oh yeah, go ahead.
All I was going to say was, you're exactly right. And so the blockchain, usually takes about 4 to 5 weeks or so to fully finish. So, getting started on it now, you could capitalize right on that growth instead of having to wait and then maybe some stuff dies off. Regardless, I'm not going to keep trying to sell it. I just think it'd be cool. I would love to see it. And with the chains that my guys can make, we can either do it where, of course, control token could be the gas token, or what I think is better is having, similar to Base and Arbitrum, having like ETH be the gas token and having a little piece of that gas go in, because that's not using the coin to pay gas, it's using Ethereum to pay gas, and very little too. It'd be like almost at the level of Base, where it'd be like 1/10 the cost of transacting on BSC. It's like under a penny per transaction, and you can have a piece of that ETH just going and fueling right into the token every time as external revenue. I think it's cool. Definitely different philosophies here with different things. I'm not trying to say one is better than the other. He's totally just wanting to do what the community thinks is best. So I'll leave that up to him. I'll stop trying to start.
Here's how I've kind of communicated with everybody is, ultimately the decision is mine, but I'm never going to not listen to the community. There's certain decisions where I will let the community decide, but if I think, we've got to do this is what's best for the project, then it is my project to make that decision. I do see that depending on the effect it has on the treasury, on what we have, I do see that, this is something that is, we have to blow up first. And if we don't do that, then we can look at our options. But really, we need to focus on marketing and getting that to do well. And those opportunities, the better we do, the more opportunities that we'll have for Mark to create more utility. He has all these types of utilities. He also has something else that I think he wanted to run by the community, which is something that he created called PvP.
Oh yeah, and PvP is entirely free, so it's even better than a blockchain in that sense. It's almost like a no-brainer in my opinion. So yeah, PvP.money is a fully on-chain, decentralized, trustless casino that I built. I call it an ethical casino because we, as the ones that created PvP, we're not the house. We actually let anyone be the house, so anyone can go in and stake money against bettors, and the bettors are trying to like win their money, or when the bettors lose, the house gets their money. So it's very ethical in that sense, where you're not worried about us just trying to make you lose. If anything, it's the opposite, because the way that PvP generates revenue is from a very small percentage of each buy-in goes in, and that's not even faced on the player side, that's on the house side. We have the lowest house edge compared to any casino in history. It's about 10 times lower than the edge you'll face in a real casino, 20 times lower for some games like roulette. And it's about like 1/5 of the house edge, something like Stake or Rollbit has as well. And it's fully on-chain. Everything's open source, all smart contracts, non-custodial. You just go on, connect your wallet, and start playing. You don't need to deposit any money. You don't need to make an account. It's fully decentralized in this way, as as the decentralized gods intended, I guess, for lack of a better term. And very soon, we're actually rolling out our token integration. So all token partners will be able to have their token be playable in the games. So yes, we'll have the staking pool that earns revenue, but we'll also have the house. So this is almost like another staking pool. So people that do stake into the house, they will not be getting the rewards of the staking pool people, but they'll be getting their own rewards from people that play the games. And the cool thing about this is we're going to let the token owners set their own custom fees. So they could say something like 1% of every buy-in is used to burn the token. And the fun thing about PvP is, since we have the lowest house edge ever, people actually win very, very often. Like, for instance, someone will go in with like $100, and they will do over $30,000 of volume of bets with that $100. Like, we've had already $5 million of volume on PvP, and it's just been in beta. So because since the house edge is so low, people are able to just win way more often than in a normal casino where, you play a few games and you lost all your money. So that 1% could stack up over and over and over again. And it could be a really good way to add a ton of deflation to control token. And it will take some rewards out of the house. Out of the staking pool and put them in the house so that people that do stake get a higher reward. And then the people that stake in the house also get a higher reward. Because, there's less competition on both sides. There's less people to split that money with. So, if anything, it'll just take more coins out of circulation, and it'll give a free, fun utility for everyone that holds control token to use and play with. So you'll be able to, right now you're able to use BNB or Matic in the house on Polygon or Binance, but soon any of our partner tokens, you're going to be able to use them. You can stake them in the house, you can play the games with them, you can do everything. So, you could throw a 10,000 control token Plinko drop or slot spin and see if you can 4x your bag before the control event, for instance. I think it's fun. We built it to be very community focused. Like PvP, we don't have a token or anything. We were built to help other tokens and other communities add a utility and have some fun. So it's less so, I don't know. It's something that we're offering completely free for right now until we go live at a beta. So any partners that we get within the next few weeks are going to be kind of grandfathered in, and they're not going to have to pay anything. Oh, and if you guys are the most active community, which I think you guys might be based on what I've seen so far with the pre-sale and everything, you also get 10% of all casino revenue as a massive buy and burn every single month. Like we just did a $4,000 buy and burn, and we're in beta, by the way, so that's not like those aren't going to be go live numbers. And this is going to be across tokens on Base when we launch on Base in a few weeks, BSC, Polygon, etc. Every single month. If you guys are the top community, you get 10% of all casino revenue as a massive cash injection. So it's a fun way to do like community versus community style battles, and also let people play against each other. And that's kind of the whole draw of the name. PvP is player versus player. You're not playing against us. You're not playing against the big bad company or the house, whatever. You're playing against each other. You're playing against the people that staked it into the house. They're trying to take your money. You're trying to take theirs. And so far, everyone that plays it has a lot of fun. So it's just a fun utility that I think would kind of be a no-brainer to add, because why not?
Awesome. Well,
I think we should do it. Man. I don't know. I would love to bet. I mean, I'm going to buy some control token on launch. I would love to just gamble it away. If I lose it all, whatever. But if I can like 10x it, I'm putting it in that 1 year pool.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you like casino style games, Mark has that, and instead of the house or these casinos that guarantee that they win all the time, I think it's more fair odds, and you can choose whether you want to be the house or whether you want to be the player, and then you can also pick control token if you guys are into this, and we can do this. It's free, and if we have the most people interacting with control token, then 10% of all the revenue will go back and it'll buy control token and it'll burn it. So it's
Or
just or add it to rewards.
Yeah, the owner is able to set their own fees and everything. So you can set a 1% of every buy-in and have it go into rewards. So every time someone plays a game, 1% of what they bought in goes and adds to that reward pool. Or you can have it be burned to add deflation. It's going to be completely up to the project owners how they want it to work. And we think it's going to be really fun to see different communities be able to use their tokens in some ways to try to win more. And he's right. The odds are infinitely better. So, for instance, a game of roulette in a casino in America has a 5.3% house edge. But our house edge across the board is 0.3%. So that's it's almost 20 times lower than than what you would have in a real casino. So your odds of winning are far greater, depending on the risk. You can do some really risky bets for some really big wins, or it's completely up to you. So if you like to have fun, if you like to shuffle your money around, like a lot of people in crypto seem to love to do, it's kind of like gambling sometimes. Definitely head over to pvp.money. Like I said, you don't have to make an account, you don't have to do anything, and you'll be able to go to pvp.money/control. And then every time you play a game, that 1% is going to go right into benefiting control token. And if you play with BNB, 1% of that BNB will also go towards benefiting control token as well. Whether that would be buying XUSD for rewards, buying and burning the token, whatever crypto control decides is he wants to do with that fee, or how he wants it to be automated on our end, because we will build the automation in, so he doesn't have to worry about it. If you want PvP, if you want control token on PvP, definitely let them know. And if you want to check it out, it's available right now. We're still in beta. We're touching it up. We have a huge update coming next Friday that's going to have the token integration set up, way for people to easily create a wallet and fund it with a credit card if they want, and new homepage. And it's going to look better and make more sense for people. But if you want to check it out, it's super simple, pvp.money. And I think control token would be a great addition to have to the token side of things there. But that was my soft shell. I know I've been talking about it a lot. I'll stop now.
Hey, Mark, can you talk at all about that other thing you've told me about, or is that still under wraps until it comes out that you're working on? Yeah. Can you talk, or nothing? Can you not say much about that, or is there anything? What I'm trying to do is get a realistic expectation of how that could potentially affect control token holders in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of you, if you guys follow me on Twitter, a few months ago, this has been a long time coming out, honestly, you saw me post about a utility that I'm releasing that's going to potentially change all of DeFi for forever. I haven't really given much info about it at all. I've been really quiet about it until it's ready, but it's very, very close to being ready. To give a hint, every token, including control token, will be available on all blockchains. You can buy it, you can sell it, you can hold it, you can transfer it to friends, anything, on any chain. So if you don't use BSC, no problem. You could buy it on Polygon or on Base or anything in a fully decentralized way, and actually hold the asset there. So there's a pretty sizable hint for it. I'm not going to go into too much more than that, but
that's like pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like special partnership we could have with you on that, like making content for it or something? Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of ways that we can have a mutually beneficial relationship with that product when it's out. It's probably about another 3 to 4 weeks away from that being live. We've been spent the better part of the last 6 months having a team fully building that out, but I'm really excited to see it. It's I think it's going to change DeFi in a crazy way, because it won't matter what chain you launch on now. If you're a new project, you don't have to be like, oh, but we have a community over here. It doesn't matter. You'll be on all chains simultaneously for all assets that exist and all assets that will exist in the future,
Right,
including
Mark,
NFTs.
if you get famous, you can't forget about control token. You still have to help us, bro.
I got your back. We've been friends for a while. So.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. There was one last thing, because I assume time's running out. I don't see any more questions. There's one more thing that I kind of want to get your mind on this, because you cover a lot of projects, and I'm sure most projects come into you that think like they probably usually think they have something amazing. Sometimes maybe they have a cool idea. Sometimes maybe they don't. What I'm kind of curious on what you might think on is what if we did like 1/10 of what Safemoon did, or 1/10 of what Evergrow did. Purely mathematical and giving that situation. This isn't projecting of what will happen or what you think will happen. Just if we got that kind of volume of like what Evergrow did, they did like 500 to 600 million in volume. Mathematically, and I'd like to see what you think about if we have so much reward stored up based on so much volume that the fun part is to think about what would a dump in price look like versus those rewards in the future, where the price going down and the rewards in the future meet to where it becomes profitable to buy. It becomes kind of like protection against the project dumping to a certain point because you'll be able to buy into those rewards. I was kind of curious on you're kind of a mathematical approach as far as you're comfortable talking about on what the difference would be, like if Safemoon had had something like control tokens, tokenomics in place, what potential mathematical effect that would that have had on the holders?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when it comes to ensuring a floor price, I think I've told you about the system I've built for that as well, where you can literally have a definable floor value of your token that your token could never go below based on money in a contract. So it basically lets you burn tokens for a percentage of that contract, depending on what percentage of your tokens you burn. So you could like effectively make sure your token never falls below a penny or never falls below a tenth of a penny, etc. if you have enough value in there. That's something I definitely think, especially if you have control chain out and running and making revenue, and whatever else you have making revenue, that's something we could visit down the road as well as another utility. But in general, I mean, like, yeah, if you got that kind of volume, that'd be ridiculous. Like, for instance, you said $600 million. Yeah, that's obscene. If you got 1/10 of that, so 60 million, you have 15% buy, 20% sell. So if you assume average buys and sells, it's like what, 17.5%. That's about $10.5 million in rewards. Yeah, that would definitely demand a certain floor value, 100%. I mean, I couldn't see it not doing that. So I do agree. Yeah, having money aside to reward is good, and it does ensure a floor at least for that year. Now, maybe if that were to happen, we could probably revisit and have some sort of rollover. So maybe like 10% or 20% of the rewards roll over to the next year. So there is something, so you don't have to worry about as soon as that year's over, everything crashing. It would be good to have some protection in place there as well. But that's something that we don't have to decide now. I mean, if there's $10 million in that contract, I would definitely recommend doing that.
Well, this is kind of the exciting part I see is like everybody has if the price goes up, they have the excitement of their price going up, and they have the excitement of knowing those permanent future rewards are going up. The only way those rewards can go down for them is if more people stake. But even if we have, like I said, a certain amount of volume, those rewards can't go down. And because of XUSD, the value of those rewards can only go up. So whether buys or sells happen, if we're still 5-6 months out from the 12-month event, that you've got potential of 12 months more of rewards to fuel those rewards in the future. So I think
absolutely. So spreading out those tokens as well to minimize the amount of tokens staked is also important. Now, a good thing you're not an inflationary token, you're deflationary. So there's not going to be more tokens being staked above what one would expect. Having some deflation mechanisms in there, I do think is good. So that brings us to PvP again as well, even like having a house where people can stake into. So that takes money away from the staking pool. Now, the house still does well. Like, for instance, the house on Polygon for Matic is up 100% in the last 3 months. So everyone that put Matic in has doubled their money in that sense. So it does still offer some good returns, and in real time too. You don't have to lock it up for a time period, but that would have less tokens staked in the staking pool for control, which means more rewards for everyone. And as well, if you had that 1% fee for deflation, reducing the total amount of control tokens available permanently, that then people can be a little rest easy if they're long-term holders, knowing that their percentage of the overall supply will increase over time. There's many ways that we can frame this together, even add that in with that floor price system I mentioned before if you wanted to. And you can really build up this vision that you have of a system that rewards and benefits long-term holders. There's a lot of ways to do it. And I wasn't trying to just soft shell my own stuff again there when I said that. I was just saying that as an example, ways like that, things that you can do to add value, to remove circulation, to lock up assets, all things like that are good and will demand more of a higher floor value based on the rewards coming out. Because obviously, if you do $60 million in volume, and you have $10 million in that reward contract, people are, the token won't be worth nothing. Absolutely not. Because there is a minimum. If you're going to get this amount of money and it's guaranteed that you are, and you can see it on chain in a contract, the thing would skyrocket. Not trying to say any financial advice, but yes, more volume is good. But
yeah, and that's
I just want to make sure. Yeah.
That's where I'm like a little curious, and I don't want you to speak out of your comfort zone, but I just like from a purely mathematical thing. Somebody on YouTube said CC is chill, Mark is amped. People are like, Mark's like super excited right now. he gets that way when he talks about his utilities. He's just super excited about them.
I love DeFi, man. I don't know. I love the space. I've been full time for since day one, since the Safemoon YouTube videos. Even I've just been full time DeFi. I love it. I work it all day, every day, like 12 to 18 hours a day on the weekdays. Weekends I take off now, which is good.
You're super passionate about it, and that's good. But like, the final question, and then we can go ahead and end this space, is I'm going to take you back to another thing, and it's okay if you don't want to, because I'll elaborate on it a little bit, and then maybe you can correct me where you might think I'd be wrong. If Safemoon had something like this in place, if they were taking 13% of all their buys and 18% of all their sells and converting it into an appreciating stablecoin, where the buy volume and the sell volume of that stablecoin increased permanently the value of that stablecoin, and they were storing it up in the future on a 6-month and 12-month basis where most of your rewards are, the implications of what that would have left the whales lift with, I believe, would have, like, worst case scenario, alleviated a lot of the sell pressure because there's this real value in the future as opposed to only selling. But best case scenario, as that volume continued to happen, it could go down so much that people start chasing those rewards, and in chasing those rewards, they increase those rewards. So I think that, like, if you look at it from like a negative perspective, it protects the project from going down so much. But at a certain point, it has the potential, especially if we have like sideways action for a bit, or if we have a massive sell-off, it creates the potential to go on another run, because the rewards don't go down, and they only go up. So as we're going up and down and having these runs, that permanent value like only is moving up. So I think that if Safemoon had something like this in place, for one, it would have rewarded a lot more people than just the people at the top who sold. But two, I think it would have kept the price of Safemoon much, much higher, because they would have had all that permanent value in the future that wouldn't have allowed the price to go down as much. And
potentially, but you got to remember too, permanent isn't necessarily the word, because the rewards will be paid
well,
out
until they're distributed. Yeah,
so
until they're distributed.
Adding things in place, like I said prior, something like a rollover system is definitely a little bit better as well. So that way, like maybe
I should say something to that real quick, because when it comes to the rollover, I don't want to do that. I think that if we have hype up into the 12-month event, that a massive sell-off would be great, because it would fuel the next 12-month reward event as well.
You can only fuel it with as much as in the liquidity pool, though. Whereas over the course of a year, buys and sells collectively could add to this pot. Because, with a sell-off, there's no more money in there than what's in the LP. So there is an upper limit in that regard.
Yeah, but
whereas buys and sells collectively over the course of time, it's not limited to just the LP. It's limitless, really, because that's buys and sells coming in constantly. So I don't know. That's just a difference of opinion, I guess. I would vouch for a rollover. But regardless of that, yes, it probably would have incentivized more people to stay in for these events. Once Safemoon dried up, though, if they claimed all those rewards, then they could have sold. And I guess, yes, I do see your point of that would have added more rewards. Yes, absolutely. But I do think a big part of it as well is taking the system that you've built, which is unique and does have these benefits, and really playing to the benefit of the rewards and finding new ways to add value to the reward pool separate from buys and sells. Utilities, I know you said before, I'm more of a stickler for utility. You're more of a logical.
Mark is utility and math, and I'm psychology and like hype, I guess, or marketing.
Yeah, so I would definitely say over the course of this year, at least, then to try to find ways to where buys and sells aren't the only thing attributing to rewards, and there's other external mechanisms adding to it as well. Because then, but I do agree with you. Yes, if these tokenomics were in place with tens of millions of dollars a day in volume going through, yeah, that would be crazy. That would have been a good thing. But it is always scary to compare yourself in
to
that
like
regard.
The biggest, most successful. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, at that point, might as well throw it on a slot spin at PvP. You know, I mean, at that point, because that is all that you can't really engineer that. I mean, you can to a degree. You can engineer socially with things like social tie campaigns and spending a lot of money on marketing, but you can't, like, that was a mania. That was a phase. That was insane.
And you were a major part of it. I was a pretty big part of it as a YouTuber, and then I became the bridge between, Safemoon and Evergrow. I was a massive part of Evergrow, of leading people into Evergrow. Evergrow did, like I said, 500 to 600 million in volume. It had a massive increase in price. I put $1,400 into Evergrow. It went to 200 and something $1,000. And so there's this connection between these projects that blow up. Not that you and me were connected to why Safemoon blew up, but I was connected to why Evergrow blew up. And so I'm hoping that with a structure that I think is better than both Safemoon and Evergrow in terms of shifting value to in a way that keeps the product alive, or at least to the people that keep the project alive, that I do think this is, and these aren't Mark's words, and I don't know, he might not even agree with me. I think this is the best tokenomics project ever created. And I think that what it does to the sentiment of psychology of the holders in terms of feeling safer about this permanent value in the future, I think it sets us up to be this third in line as far as, in my mind, how I see it is Safemoon, Evergrow, Control Token. I see Control Token as being that kind of this third attempt at those rewards, and I'm known by the Safemoon people. I'm known by the Evergrow people. They understand reward tokens. And so it's not that I'm comparing, and I'm not saying you're attacking me on this. I'm just kind of putting this out there for people to understand. Obviously, every project wants to compare themselves to the biggest blue chip. If we just do this, then everything's amazing. And we kind of do need something like that. But the people who know about me know about reward projects. And so I think that as our project grows, that I'm basically reaching out to those same people with this message to say, look at this idea and look how it's kind of a hedge against what most projects are when you lose, when the top people sell and the liquidity pool gets drained and the project gets dumped. There's no value in the future. Only the people who destroy the project are rewarded. And so I'm hoping that because of my connection to Evergrow and my connection to Safemoon, that not only can I help create a good project that can help these people what they wanted, and I already think Evergrow succeeded. I just think that by delaying those stablecoin rewards, I could have succeeded even more. But yeah, that through my connection to them, that we can cause another project to do something big. And it doesn't even have to do a fraction of what Safemoon or Evergrow did to shift that 13% of buys, 18% of sells into an appreciating stablecoin in the future that provides a real event of value to look forward to, instead of a potential birthday exchange listing or blockchain or something that you hope causes the price to go up, that you hope provides you an opportunity to take profit.
Yes, I just want to throw it out again. Like I said, I've said this before. I do the coding. I'm the math guy usually with these kind of things. Crypto Control is definitely the CEO. He runs the show. He's the visionary, quote unquote, that you'd expect that you'd want to be running the show. I just want to make sure everyone knew again that I'm not on the team, quote unquote, necessarily. I have a lot of clients. I help out a lot of people in the crypto space. He is a close friend of mine personally, so that's why I'll hop on spaces and talk with his people, answer questions, and give him my input, which, like I said before, we're definitely two ends of the coin in a sense, where I definitely focus more on the math and the logistics and the reasoning behind things. He knows people and emotions and psychology better than I do. I'm not going to say I'm an expert at that by any means. So it does go good hand in hand. We've had some good debates, discussions. We've debated about this stuff a lot, honestly. But all I'm saying is, I agree with what you're saying. You're not wrong. It does add more value, but getting consistent revenue separate from buys and sells is also important. So if anyone out there agrees, just put a hashtag control chain or hashtag when control chain somewhere.
Yeah, no, and I'd probably just resort back to what I said, which is that unless you're creating something that a lot like chain hop, something that a lot of people are going to use potentially, then it can be an idea that gets a community hyped that doesn't actually affect the project. And so this is where I'm like, I think the community needs to understand that if we do well, then people will want to copy Control Token. Then they'll want to be a part of Control Token. Then the community of Control Token, just like the community of Safemoon, will be what people are seeking. They want your attention. And then we can launch anything. We can launch a wallet, NFT marketplace, something, and then people will want to use it just to be associated with that audience. And then we can utilize those fees to reward the project. So it's not, I'm a fully on board with you. I just think that it has to be at the right time. Otherwise, it'll just every project's promising utilities, and like a lot of projects are putting out utilities that don't change the project at all. So it's got to be either an amazing utility that hasn't been done before, or there has to be so much hype attached to the project that people want to be a part of whatever that project's creating. And so that's where my focus is the psychology of what's going on. Because I think, investing, I think it is 100% psychology and sentiment. That's why people sit on tens of millions of dollars. It's like, dude, how do you sit on $60 million and not sell 20 million? Well, it's because you think you're going to get 80 million, 100 million. And so sentiment is a massive thing when it comes to understanding the psychology of why a project grows. And so that is why I think Control Token is so important to changing the psychology of people to being bullish and being confident in the future, and to work and to unite us in the rewards. I don't know if Mark's heard me say this, but people can be united in the price going up of any project, but they're always divided when it comes to selling. But with the rewards, you can be united in those rewards in the future, because that's going towards everybody who's keeping the project alive. So I think that Control Token will allow us to be confident. When somebody sells, they forfeit their value. They paid it when they bought in, and they're forfeiting it when they're paying a tail tax when they leave. And if they're unstaking, they're paying an extra tax as well, shifting all that value into the future. And how does that affect the psychology of holders when it comes to a sell, where typically sell is just a terrible thing that doesn't have any positive effect, where now they're forfeiting a ton of value and they're paying into it. So I think it's all about psychology. And then I think if we do get to a point, sorry, I'm done, Mark. If we get to a point where we add utility on top of something like this, I think it could be massive. So.
No, I agree. Utility is great. Yeah, I don't know. I love the public forum of it, though. It's good to hear both sides. It's good to go, have this kind of thing. I'd be curious to hear what the community thinks as well. For me personally, at least, whenever I invest emotionally or with, like a psychological investment, that's always dangerous. That's why, now I've missed out on a lot of gains probably from not following the hype trains. I just buy Bitcoin now. So maybe I'm definitely not the best to talk about the psychology of holders, quote unquote. So that's your area of expertise, 100%. I'm just here to find make cool shit, find ways to bring in value, and whenever you think the time is right, man, we'll get it out there.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate everybody showing up today. And Mark, like I said, guys, Mark's a super busy guy, so we might not see him in a space for a little while until maybe at the launch. I don't know if he'll be in a space or if he'll just be communicating with me while I'm in a space. Do you know that, Mark? Will you be in the space with us, or will you just be communicating with me while I'm doing the
I'll
space?
probably be managing the airdrop and everything else, but I could probably pop in and say hi.
Okay.
My finishing words are, if you guys want that blockchain, baby, #when control chain. I know he wants to do it later, but just annoy the hell out of him until then, because he's a friend of mine. I like to give him a hard time. And oh shit, I had another piece that I wanted to end it with. Oh yeah, if anyone else wants a blockchain, just let me know. I have a whole team of people now on it, and it's seen some cool success, man. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it these days, and I think for your vision, when we do hit that, what you're trying to hit your milestones, I think we can make it something really special and something that's never been done before. Yes, people have done blockchains before, but it's not just like a copy paste cut, blockchain. You can add whatever customization you want to it, and the options are limitless. So check out pvp.money. Let him know if you guys want to see Control Token as a playable token on pvp.money. Any other questions, just shoot it to him. He'll shoot me a message, or if you guys have me on Discord, that's always the best place to reach me. Just ask me. I'll be here. Just working. I work Monday through Friday, like noon to midnight, pretty much every day. So just shoot me a message. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, Mark. And yeah, guys, I'll be working with Mark and whatever to hopefully get a launch date for next week. And thanks for showing up, everybody, on the YouTube side of things and on the Twitter side of things. And we'll see you guys in the next video or space. You guys have a great day.